fortunately, if you are pounding away, then you can create a vicious cycle if that kicks up that hunger and the
Absolutely.
desire
Absolutely. And
for
you made a
those.
great
Yeah.
point before about people punishing themselves. And Shawn, one of the greatest things that CrossFit has delivered the world, and it's delivered a few good things like knee-high socks on girls all the time. That is a beautiful thing. But the second best thing it's delivered is that it's totally shifted women's and a lot of guys' mindsets towards exercise. Yeah, they're going out and really putting themselves through training, but they've shifted that mindset from I'm going to go and punish myself for what I ate to I'm going to go out there and perform.
Yeah.
I'm going to perform because of what I ate. So it went from punishment to performance. And I'm so glad that you brought that up before.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's tied into the culture as well. A lot more focus on nutrition as well, the sleep component. You know, like Dr. Kelly Starrett, who was on the show, one of my favorite episodes. He's a big proponent of Sleep Smarter, you know, and he actually encouraged one of the specific chapters in the book when I combined and worked with Rodale to put the big version out. And that was the body work aspect. You know, he was like talking about the vagus nerve. It just like blew my mind. It's like, I need to know more about it. And so it's something that they push into the culture there as well. So it's really, it's basically, we can start to create our own blue zones, you know, little CrossFit box blue zones. All right. Now, with that said, you know, there are, and within anything, there are going to be extremists. You know, there are going to be people who are going 7 days a week. You don't need to do that. And there are also this category of people who, you know, get into adrenal fatigue, that get into immune issues by just going too hard, doing too much.
And just, you know, one big article in the New York Times last year, Shawn, was about one of America's top marathon runners who said, I quit because his testosterone is in the toilet from long endurance training, and he can't have a family. And that's what happens when you do too much endurance training. Your sex hormones get messed up because they don't have the reserve capacity to continue, you know, staying at a normal level. So you actually see men who have active lives but not hardcore training actually have better testosterone levels than guys who train too hard.
Yeah. You know what? Yesterday I talked to Navy SEAL Mark Devine.
Oh, wow.
He had me on his show yesterday, and he was telling me about how he would see, they came in, they actually were working with these SEALs, and they tested their testosterone after their training, and they had the testosterone levels of like teenage girls, right? Wow. And they were just like these big, strong, tough guys, and they were like, what is going on? But it's that mindset. They kept pushing through, push through. But the long-term damage, they were looking to find ways to stave that off and to help them to be as healthy as possible. And a big part of that was focusing on getting them better sleep quality. That was a big key. And so, of course, we talked about that on the show as well. So do we have to do cardio for health? Let's talk about some other ways, kind of unconventional thinking, that we're actually getting those cardiovascular benefits from different forms of exercise.
Right. So there was a study that came out in 2012 that just made my day. And it was from a university up in Canada called Queen's University, where my sister actually went to school. And it was a body weight training program compared to 40 minutes of cardio. And so it was only 4 minutes of bodyweight exercises done in the what's known as the Tabata style, which is 20 seconds of hard work, 10 seconds of recovery. And these people, again, they were young women, young college-age women, and they trained for 12 weeks. And they either did 4 minutes of bodyweight training 4 times a week, or they did 40 minutes of cardio 4 times per week. And at the end, they compared their aerobic fitness improvements, and both groups made the same improvement.
Yeah.
One group, actually it was 30 minutes. I apologize. It was 30 minutes of cardio because I remember doing the math. It was 7 times more effective. So 4 minutes of cardio versus 4 minutes of bodyweight exercises versus 30 minutes of cardio 4 times a week. And over that period of time, both groups increased their aerobic fitness the exact same. But the bodyweight group also improved performance in muscular endurance, such as push-ups to failure, sit-ups, all those bodyweight exercises, those life-applicable movements. And so that was like a big aha moment for me. It showed my clients and my readers that, hey, we can just do these bodyweight exercises. And so I pumped out a whole bunch of bodyweight videos. There's lots on YouTube that you can see, that some have been watched over 1 million times, of my 4-minute workouts that give people an amazing workout 7 times faster than doing long, slow cardio. No equipment, no money spent on gyms, no money spent on a treadmill, and away you go.
Treadmill.
You know, some people would give away one of their fingers to get 1 million views on their YouTube videos. But this is like I've been telling you guys, he is a legend. He's been putting it down and getting this information out there. And he might be like your favorite trainer's favorite trainer, you know? And because of this, it's not rocket science. You know, it kind of is, but it's so simple. And also, if you just look at the research, like he gave that wonderful example that you can, and that's one of the biggest kind of barriers to entry for people to work out is like, I don't have that kind of time. And today more than ever, really, like that's an issue. So what if we can incorporate this 4 minutes of exercise plus focusing on our nutrition, getting great sleep? What if we could put that extra time spent running, getting great sleep, right?
Great sleep.
Isn't that perfect?
Food
you get
prep.
4-minute workouts and you use Shawn's Sleep Smarter and you stay in bed longer. You can get up and just, work out in your PJs at home. Think of the time that you're saving people here with this advice, Shawn. It's amazing.
Man.
It is, for
We
sure.
love you both
for sure.
Both for that. And then one of the questions that we did get when we were on the road was, do I need a gym membership in order to participate? Do I need to get new equipment? And the woman was concerned that might be something that would make it prohibitive. And so this is very freeing.
Absolutely. And there's so many things that we can do with our bodies. I mean, I'm in hotels all the time, Shawn. I don't know if I travel as much as you, but I travel a lot. And there's sometimes the hotel gym isn't open. Sometimes there's no hotel gym, especially when you go to Europe. And so I've had to come up with probably about 120 bodyweight exercises that I can do anytime, anywhere, no equipment, and still work out every muscle in my body. And it's just really a great relief to know that I can do that and still, get in my workout and not feel like, a slug because I haven't had that blood flowing through my body nice and fast.
Did you say 120?
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
got like 25 different push-up versions, but there's a lot of really neat stuff that you can do with your body weight.
And he's got a bunch of them in the book, and we're going to talk about the specific, like if you've got this amount of time each week, what should we be doing? So we're going to dive in and talk about that right after this quick break. We'll be right back. Massive research is now pouring in with this blossoming field of science and nutrition called Nutrigenomics. And this field is studying how every single molecule of food that you eat impacts your genetic expression. So we're literally talking about how your body appears, your health, or lack thereof. All of this is going to be determined by every single molecule of food that you eat. So whether it's a banana or a donut or a Hot Pocket, whatever it might be, we have to be in tune with the fact that this is going to impact what genes are getting expressed. And there are genes like the FTO gene, for example, that has been found to be this, quote, fat gene and have a high propensity towards obesity if you carry this gene. Now, you can silence these genes by making sure that you're eating real foods that are in alignment with your own genetic integrity. The basis of that needs to be from earth-grown nutrients, things that your body actually recognizes as real food, that you have a history with, that your ancestors have a history with. Not things that have been invented in a laboratory like last week. All right, so we want to make sure that we're eating real food that are from earth-grown nutrients. And this is why I love Onnit so much. This is why they are family. This is why I endorse them so powerfully, because they are part of my life. They're a part of my family's life. And I want to make sure that you head over to onnit.com/model. That's ONNIT.com/model. And you're going to get 10% off all of their health and human performance supplements. I'm a huge fan of the Hemp Force protein. I've been using it for many years. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And I give this to my kids as well. And this is one of the things that I love to have post-workout. Now, hemp is based on some powerful amino acids, some powerful protein building blocks like albumin, which is a very soft globular protein that's very easy to digest, plus edestin. And this is a unique protein compound that's found in hemp that might be the most bioavailable, usable protein for the human body. Crazy, right? So a lot of people today are hearing about the benefits of hemp seeds and hemp protein and hemp oil, things like that. We want to make sure, again, that you're getting organic and that it's made with integrity, right? So that this cold process, so that you're actually able to get the nutrients that you're looking for in this kind of protein powder, protein cake that you're getting with Hemp Force protein from Onnit. So they've got multiple flavors. They've got the Choco Maca, they've got the Vanilla Acai, and they also have a brand new recovery protein that adds in the powerful component of colostrum, which has every single amino acid, every polysaccharide, aka essential sugar, and every essential fatty acid right there in it. These powerful building blocks, growth factors. Every growth factor that influences your body's metabolism is there in that protein, the recovery protein. So make sure that you're checking that out as well. Super powerful stuff. Also has immune factors to help fortify your immune system. Just great stuff. And they've got exercise equipment, tons of great foods. Head over, check them out today. Onnit.com/model. ONNIT.com/MODEL for 10% off. Now back to the show. Okay, we are back and we're talking to the one and only legendary walking, talking superstar, Craig Ballantyne, who is the creator of Turbulence Training and the book that really took things to the next level for me, The Perfect Day Formula. All right, so not just mastering our bodies, but actually mastering our life. All right, and now, so we're going to talk about what if somebody had 30 minutes 3 times a week to exercise, Craig? What should we be doing?
Oh, this is going to be great. If you want to build a little muscle, lose a lot of body fat, you got 30 minutes 3 times a week, you can do amazing things and improve your cardiovascular health by doing basically what I called the Turbulence Training Program, which I put together all the way back in 2001 when I was a student at McMaster. And that was essentially we're going to do 3 or 4 exercises for our body and strength training, whether they're body weight or whether they're with dumbbells, or, if you're hardcore and you use barbells, or you can use the TRX, you can use anything. But we want to get a total body strength training workout in about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we want to finish with 10 minutes of either interval training, could be classic interval training. You could be running hills, could be even running on the treadmill for a minute at a time and a minute off. Or it could be bodyweight exercises like burpees, jumping jacks, mountain climbers, those bodyweight exercises that were used in the 4-minute workout study that I mentioned before. So we can really get this all done in a home gym. And, the whole thing comes back to my experience with Men's Health magazine. I was lucky to start writing for them in 2000. And these were the questions I was getting, Shawn. What can I do in 30 minutes? What can I do at home in the basement? What can I do with rusty old dumbbells? And, that's what I had too. And so I was able to put together these programs. So in 30 minutes, you do that 3 times per week, a total body workout with some interval type, metabolic type training, and away you go. You are going to be fit and look great on the beach in the summertime with this type of program.
Perfect. I love it. I want to let's construct something for people. Let's give an example, because one of the things that I've also seen you do is, these super sets or monster sets and combining these different exercises. So give us a sample workout for, we're going to hit the gym on Monday. We're going to do a total body exercise program. We're going to do it under 30 minutes. Walk us through what it would look like.
Perfect. Love this question. So we're going to do this first exercise called a goblet squat. So you're going to have one dumbbell held like this, like you're holding a goblet, and you do squats, because that is going to use the biggest muscles in your body, your quadriceps, your glutes, your hamstrings. That's a great exercise to start with. Then we're going to use that superset mentality, which means we're going to go back to back with the exercises, or we might do an entire circuit here. And we're going to go and use what I call non-competing muscles. So we just worked our legs. Now we're going to go and work our upper body pushing muscles. So we might go and do a push-up or a decline push-up, or we might get the dumbbells and do dumbbell chest presses, or we might do TRX push-ups. But that's your second exercise, is the pushing movement. Then we're going to go and do a single leg exercise. And what I really like people to do is not do lunges. And people listening are going to be going, thank you for saying I don't have to do lunges. Because most people, unfortunately, they don't have very good lunge form. So there's an exercise called the split squat, which is a stationary lunge. It's still pretty difficult, but it doesn't require you stepping forward and losing your balance. So we can do a split squat. Or if you're a beginner, you can lie down and do a 1-leg hip extension. Or you can do step-ups onto a small box. But we're going to do single leg exercises. Then we're going to go into an upper body pulling exercise. So we might do a dumbbell row or a TRX row or something like that. So we go lower, upper, and in those 4 exercises, we've really hit our entire body. And then we can move into that metabolic circuit at the end, which might be something like bodyweight squats, mountain climbers, and then something like
burpees,
jumping jacks or burpees if you're advanced, and then finish off with something called a rocking plank or a regular plank to work your abdominals and your core for endurance. And boom, just like that, you've had an amazing workout. And then we would just, in the next 2 days of the week, the second and third workouts, we would come up with new exercises, variations on what we've used, not the same exercises. So there's variety. And that way, man, you keep yourself entertained and getting results and putting a stimulus on your body, which is what training is all about. Just put enough stimulus on your body to make a change. And I mean, I could talk about that all day long, but most people do too much cardio. They overstimulate their body and end up with overuse. But those are the 3 workouts, Shawn. And then on the off days, just stay active. Go for a walk, do yoga, do Pilates, take your kids out and play with them. Just do something, but you don't have to be in that I got to go to the gym mindset, because we don't need to be stressed out by exercise.
Got it, man. So refreshing.